They say that you know you're getting old when the police start to look younger, but social media trolls say that one teenager who's joined West Yorkshire Police is actually just 10 years old. Superintendent Helen Breer has hit back at the trolls for posting offensive comments about Alfie and Noah. Her defence of the police students has been seen by more than 150,000 people. She's been praised for backing her officers against online bullying. We should maybe go and arrest a few of them, actually. That would be interesting. But look, for more on this, we can speak to former police officer Chris Hobbs. Chris, thank you very much. I have tremendous respect for anybody who goes and puts on that uniform and walks towards danger and does an incredibly difficult job, especially if they happen to have the body of a child.
Appearances can be very deceptive. I mean, he may look young, but he would have got through some tough tests to get in the police. He would have had to have a fitness test. That would have included a strength test. And you've got to have character. And I suspect he's got a lot of character. You can't go by appearances alone. No. At the end of the day, a 14-year-old could be proved very difficult to arrest and very proficient, for example, in the martial arts or boxing, if he's been training for a while. I think it's really unfortunate that a young PC is off to a start in his career with people mocking him. He's going to go out. Policing has never been more challenging, never been more dangerous, and he's going to go out, and really he's going to go out with this, which he will never, ever forget.
I feel very, very sorry for him, genuinely, because I think that especially in this current day and age, any young recruits that the police can get who volunteer to go and join that police force, who think it's a great career option for them, they deserve massive amounts of respect. And it is a real shame, I think, that this lad obviously has been mocked online. But on a slightly more serious note, you alluded to it there, you know, are the physical tests for police officers good enough? I mean, in an ideal world, we would have an army of Tyson Furies, wouldn't we, out on the streets? But we don't have that.
It's hard to say, to be quite honest. When I joined, there was no physical test.
Really?
Just a medical.
No.
And you were expected to get yourself up to a certain standard when you started at training school. Now, these days, training schools are almost a thing of the past, but we would do 15, 16 weeks. And if physically we weren't up to it, then we'd be shown the door. But it was really up to yourself. We did have a medical, but there were no strength tests. There was no fitness test to see how long you could keep running for, as it were, bleep tests. That was it. So it's all been a little new. So it's better than it was.
Better than it was. With that lad there, though, I know we could just bring the picture back up again in a second now, but yeah, he's obviously not massive. He does look like a child, quite childlike looking. Would you send him to, you know, the scene of a murder? Would something have to be done about that, you know, or is it indiscriminate? The radio goes off, because that would be my concern. It's like, look, great, thank you very much for being a part of our police force, very grateful, but if you can't attend certain crimes, then it's a problem.
I don't think it would be a problem, because yes, he looks young, but as we've just said, you could get a 14-year-old black belt in karate, could wipe the floor with both of us.
Yeah.
So the physical attributes, we don't know what his physical attributes are. We also don't know how good he is at dealing with people.
Yes, true.
Because that's, these days, de-escalation. How can you relate to people? It's quite possible to youngsters, he's going to relate to them extremely well, because he is one of them, or he physically looks like them. So I don't think that's a problem. He will go to these calls. He will have to do the best he can. He hopefully will be doubled up. But then you would want all officers to be paired up.
Just quickly, while I've got you, there was another police story doing the rounds today, in a way, about how people who are shoplifters and drug users, etc., might not find themselves in court. I looked at that and I thought that's really bad news for the bloke or lady who owns the local corner shop, who now just be fearing people going in, looting, and then nothing happening to them.
We'd like to have a much longer chat about this. I think that there is a bakery where I live in Ealing that closed, because they were being robbed frequently. Right. People just go in and help themselves. Wenzel's. They've now shut down.
Because people were just going and robbing the place.
And because of intimidation of staff. So it's a real problem. But the bottom line is the courts are full up, the prisons are full up, the Crown Prosecution Service, even where police get to the stage where they submit papers to the CPS, they've had cuts, and very often a case goes nowhere because the CPS says, for whatever reason, we can't deal with this. So I'm not certain, to be quite honest, that the government's intentions will play out in the real world. It's a shame because businesses are going under. Around my way, we're suffering because of antisocial behaviour, because of drug dealing, drug taking. But the police jam is too thinly spread, and whether not answering mental health calls is going to make a difference,
Well, yeah.
I doubt. And to be quite honest, the first death that you get because police haven't attended a mental health call,
Well, exactly.
then you will see the call handler or the officer who's made that decision probably being thrown under the bus.
Look, thank you very, very much. Great to have you on. Great to have you in the studio as well as Chris Hobbs there, who's, of course, a former police officer.